Have you never used Facebook ads or don't know where to start? I've got you. In this video, I'll be showing you how to set up your Facebook ads in order to reach your ideal customers and make your target. In the first part of my marketing with Facebook, I sort of shared, how to market your business on Facebook organically through growing a Facebook group as well as prospecting. In this video, I'll be showing you how to do it, how to run paid ads on Facebook and consequently on Instagram as well. So I'll be going through the back end of my Facebook Ads Manager with you, so you have an idea of how to make Facebook ads. And so once you're coming into this, you see this create button here, you click on it, and it brings out this panel here where basically you choose the sort of campaign you're trying to run. So you have sales, and these are usually good for like conversions, catalogs and other things. You have leads where you can have an instant form, messenger, Instagram, all of that. Engagement, when you want people to engage with your posts. App, you don't need that as a photographer, or unless you have an app, of course. Traffic, if you want to send people to your website. Awareness, if you want people to get to know you. So I'm going to start with awareness. So first, when you're first running an ad on Facebook, you want to start with an awareness campaign because people don't know your business yet, and you want to start attracting your ideal audience to your page. And this is why I said at the start, you need to create a Facebook page. So once you click the awareness button, you can either scroll here to name your campaign, or you can click continue and you'd appear here, and you can basically name your campaign whatever you want it to name. So it could be, let's say, brand awareness campaign. And then this category is usually, it doesn't apply to you because you're not like in this sort of social elections or politics. That's not what you are. You're a photography business. And then here usually it's an auction. You leave it. You leave that as well. That's fine. If you're not doing an A to B test, you don't need to toggle this on. And then the advantage campaign budget is always good to have this on, because when you have multiple ad sets, it would basically spend the money depending on which of the ad sets performing best. And so I always have that on because I usually have multiple ad sets. And then daily budget or lifetime budget, you choose how much you want to spend per day. For awareness campaign, I believe the minimum you want to spend per day is about £10. So you decide how much you want to spend anyway per day, and depending on how long you're running it for. And I would say like a minimum of like 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, you want to run an awareness campaign before you run like a traffic or a conversion campaign. And then here runs all the time, you leave that on, and so you go to next. And so here at the ad set, this is where you decide on your target audience. So what I do with the ad set name, I usually name it what my target audience is. So at a glance, I can easily remember what it is. So usually be women 26 to 55, sometimes 60 years. So I'll leave it at that. Because I'm a boudoir photographer, I mainly target women, and this is usually the age range of people who come to book my service. And then for the performance goal, there's the maximize reach of ads, and there's also impressions. So this is, we'll try to show your ads to as many people as possible, or we'll try to show your ads to people as many times as possible. So you choose what goal you want it to be. Remember, the more times people see your ads, the more they start to know your business and take an action. So I'll change it to that one. Okoh's boudoir. So this will be the page you want to add to run on. I have other pages, but this is the one I use for my boudoir business, so I'll leave it on there. And then dynamic creative. Now I always toggle this on as well, because when you write different sort of headlines, different ad descriptions, different images, the algorithm and the AI behind it will start to like mix and like use different elements and stuff, and basically show the best performing combinations to your audience. And then here, if you don't want to publish the ad straight away, you can change the date and the time. If you want to set an end date you want it to run for, you set that as well. Location. Now, as a photographer, depending if you want to get clients from, well, so it depends on the sort of photographer you are, right? If you're a wedding photographer and you're open to traveling around the UK, that's fine, you can leave the United Kingdom. But if you're a photographer where you have your studio in a particular city, then obviously you want to like attract people who live in that city and close by. So as a boudoir photographer, I'm not trying to travel to Liverpool or Manchester. And so I would usually just choose London, England. And then I would increase the mile radius to 50, so it gets the surrounding cities, and I usually have people travel to me from this radius, so that's fine. And I do have people who have traveled to me from like Wales, from Suffolk, from like Sheffield, which is much further afield. You will get those people, that's fine. But for your ads, you want to like keep it quite contained, because here you're getting the estimated number of people. And so let's see. So Facebook has changed this quite recently. Usually you should be able to choose here. So make sure you toggle that button if you want more more control. So for my boudoir, I don't want minors, so I usually put it from 26, and the max usually 50. Genders, again, I don't want showing my ad to men, I show it to women. And then here, if you want to like, add more demographics, you can. So let's see. So let's click on browse by interest, by behaviors, from behaviors, anniversary. Let's see. So people who have anniversary, if you're like maybe targeting family people who are like marking a wedding anniversary, you can click on that to target them and show your business to them. I'm looking for a particular one, but I think it's changed quite recently, so they're quite different. Interests, you can see people's relationship, hobbies. If you know what your target audience is like interested in, you can do that. Educational, life events, yes. So I think this is what I'm looking for. So let's say you are a wedding photographer and you're trying to target newlyweds. So you can click on this box to find like a newlywed who has just been engaged, I guess. No, these are newlyweds, right? So new relationship. So newly engaged. This was what I was looking for. So you can target people who have been newly engaged in the past 6 months or past 3 months, and they're like, looking for a wedding photographer. So you can target them specifically if you're a wedding photographer, and that'll work really well for you. So so many different ways to like meet your ideal, to reach your ideal target audience, behaviors. Okay. So for awareness anyway, for my boudoir, I would leave it because I just want to reach as many women as possible in this age range and in this location I want. And so we will go to an advantage placement. Just means the algorithm, the AI behind the platform will publish it to all the relevant platforms and all the platforms where your ads will best reach the people you want it to reach. If you do manual, manual. Then you can decide if you want it only on Facebook, if you want it on Instagram, audience network. There's so many other things you can start to like decide where, but for the awareness, you just want to, let it reach as many people as possible, and you want the technology to do the work. So you click on next, and then here next is where, because you want it to go on Instagram, so you link your corresponding Instagram account. There we go. And then here is where you start to do the creative, right? So you can choose if you want it to be an image or a video, or instead a carousel. And then here you go ahead and select your images. Usually it would come up with images you've posted on like your Instagram, or you've posted on your accounts previously. And this sort of warning sign tells you the ratio or like the size of the image is not right. You can always resize it. So I'll just choose that image for now. Click on continue. And then here is where you write your primary text. So here, this is just populated with what has been there before: London-based luxury photography studio. That's it. But this is where you write your ad, like, what you want people to read. And then you can also add different ones, so like different wordings. And like I said, once you click that dynamic creative, when you have different descriptions here, it would mix and match your descriptions with like the different images. Let's leave that for now. Come your headline. So maybe you want to write something like the ultimate experience. And you will see what I've written will be displayed here in the picture. Come on, show, where is it? Okay, let's keep going. It would appear soon. So that's the headline. And actually, let's write this in bold. The ultimate photography experience. Okay, and then you add a website URL. So let's add mine. boudoir.elizabethokoh.com. Okay. So now you can see once you add the URL, it comes there, the ultimate photography, but it's cutting it off. So you may want to make sure the characters you have, take the space up, so when people see the ad, nothing is cut off. Let's see the best. What does that do? The best photography experience, that's there. The description you've written is there. This is the headline. And usually, because this is just my website URL, is there. But let's say you're sending people to a landing page that has like a really long URL, and you don't want people seeing all of that, like numbers and letters and whatever. Display link, you can click here and just write your actual URL. And that's what will be displayed to them. And then your call to action with an awareness, because it's just an awareness. You're not getting people to buy or to contact or anything like that. Usually learn more is the best to go with. And that's it. And if you have a pixel already put on your website, like a Facebook pixel, you can also track events, meaning that whoever leaves Facebook and goes to your website, this code will track them, and that way you start to know who's gone on your website. So once you've done all of this, you're able to see, like, you've got the advanced preview. It shows you how it's displayed on the different platform, on Facebook feeds, Instagram feed, marketplace. And then you just want to make sure you're happy with what you're seeing and it looks good. And then we can go back, and then at that point you can hit publish. So this is how you create an awareness ad. Now I'm going to show you how to make a traffic campaign. So you click on the create button, and then you go to traffic because you want to send people to your website. You click on continue, and then here you can name it whatever you want it to be. If it's like, a traffic campaign where people are just going to like your homepage, or if it's a traffic campaign where people are going to a particular landing page for like a campaign you're running. So let's say you're doing a mini session, right? You want people to know about your mini session. So I'll usually just, what I do, you can name it whatever you want to do, but because I want to remember what each campaign is for, I will do traffic and I will do mini session campaign or mini session October. So that way I remember this was run in October 2023. Traffic mini session October 23. And then ignore categories again because you don't fall into there. All of this is fine as it is. You want to always leave this on. And this is set 100 and it said daily budget. It looks higher than my usual, which is correct. I don't do 100. So for a traffic, depends on you how much you want to spend. Again, the minimum I would say should be £10 per day. Start where you're comfortable with, and of course, how much you have in your marketing budget. So leave it at 10 per day, and then let's go to next. And then here again, depending on what audience you're targeting, you just name it whatever you want to name it. I will just go with my usual 26 to 60 years old. Leave it there. Where am I sending people to my website? So I'll leave that on there. And then now you have this for your performance goals. You want to make sure it's not on link clicks. Okay, because when you put it on link clicks, it's going to send your ads to people who are most likely to click on a link. But that's not great because you actually want people to wait for your page to load and to actually see your landing page. So you want to maximize it for people who would actually, get on your landing page and are likely to scroll through and actually read what you have on your landing page rather than just clicking and before it even loads, they've bounced off. So always maximize for landing page views. Dynamic creative again, always want to toggle that on. Decide if you want to schedule it for a different start date or if you're publishing it straight away and, edit as appropriate. Location, again, if you're a photographer who has a studio in a particular city, you don't want to send these ads all over the UK. As usual, I will go for London, England, United Kingdom, and I would increase that to a 50-mile radius so I can get the surrounding areas as well. Audience. Again, because Instagram has changed recently, you don't want it to just, send to whoever and whoever, because this is like, as you can see, 14 million. That's a really, really wide range. So again, depending on the type of photographer you are, you want to be able to decide your audience, right? You know your audience best. So there's another part actually I must talk about with this. So while you can just choose this people, and you can see it's still quite broad, but when we come here to what we call custom audiences, this is where it gets really, really interesting. So you can create like a lookalike audience. So now I previously talked about the Facebook pixel. So the pixel is basically like, those cookies you see on websites, and it's tracking who has come to the website. And so once you have that pixel on your website, it can track people who have been on your website. So now you can create a lookalike audience from different ways. So you can create a lookalike audience from either your website, your Facebook page, or your Instagram page. And you can also tell it, how long you want them to, how long this happened. And so, for example, for this lookalike I created here, I've named it Boudoir Facebook page 180 days. So that means these are like people who have gone to my Boudoir Facebook page in the last 180 days, people who have gone to my Boudoir Instagram page in the last 180 days, people who have gone to my Boudoir website in the last 30 days. And so basically, this platform would look for similar people to the people who have been on your website in the last 30 days and will start to send those ads to them. Another type of audience you can have is a custom audience. So rather than a lookalike, you want the actual people who have been on your Boudoir Facebook page in the last 90 days and they've engaged, or on your Instagram in the last 90 days and they've engaged in different ways, whether they've liked the post, they've commented, they've watched the story. As long as they've been done any of those in the last 90 days, your ads will be sent to them. Or they've been on your website in the last 30 days, your ads will be sent to them. And this green button basically means your pixel is tracking all of this properly. Now, let me show you how to create a new custom audience. So when you're creating a custom audience, here is your sources. You can choose either people that have been on your website, if you have an app, if you have a customer list, or if you want the sources from Meta. So it can either be people who have maybe watched a video you've posted or commented or engaged in it in any way. If it's people who have maybe, filled out or submitted a lead form, people who have been on your Instagram, or people who have attended any of your events, people who have been on your Facebook page. So there are different sources you can create your custom audience from. So let's say your website, you have the Google Pixel on your website, or let's say you don't have the Google Pixel on your website at first. Let's say you're a total beginner, you have no idea how to create that pixel, because that's another they've changed how they do it, so it's quite intricate how you do that now. So let's say you want to get people who have been on your Instagram account. So you click next and it takes you there. You choose the Instagram account. So I have 2 Instagram accounts. I choose my Boudoir one. And then here you choose the event. So here it's saying everyone who engaged with this professional account. And you can basically, anyone who's visited the account. Depends on what you want, right? Visited, that means people who just looked at it and don't really care, or people who have actually engaged. So they've liked a post, or they've commented on a post, or they've shared, or they saved. This is, I think, the most valuable because they've engaged with your account. And then in the last how many days, you decide what you want to choose. Usually I go for up to 90 days because that's like 3 months, depending on what the campaign is anyway and why I'm trying to reach people. So you put 90 days and that's it, really. So easy. So now here, audience name, obviously you can name it whatever, but it's always good to name it something so you can quickly remember what this audience is. You truly don't want to have to be clicking to read the description. So I make mine very descriptive anyway. So I would say IG 90 days. No, I would say Boudoir IG, so I don't confuse it with my personal Instagram. So Boudoir IG 90 days. That's what I would just call it, and you can literally create the audience and you have it there, and you will start tracking people who have visited the Instagram page. You can go ahead, do that the same for the Facebook page. And so let's say you do have your pixel, so you want to track people who have been on your website, and then you choose which of your pixels. I have 2, so I choose my photography where I'm 1, and exactly just the same, all website visitors. Or if you want to like people who have visited specific pages, or I have this event set up already from different pages on my website, so I can choose maybe people who have been on my experience tab, people who have been on my website for a particular amount of time, people who page scroll through the whole home page or page view, like different ones. You choose what you want it for. You put in how many days as well, and then you name it. Again, make this really descriptive. So I would call this Boudoir website 30 days. So that way I know this is tracking people who have been on my Boudoir website in the last 30 days, and you will click the create audience here, and that will be created. So that's how you create your custom audience. And then when next you're creating an ad, you wouldn't have to do it from scratch. You would just click here, go to custom audience, and you can see all the audiences you've created or lookalike, and you can check out all the lookalike you've created. So that's how you can get like a specific narrower target audience than just every person. So for example, you can see this is in 5 million. And so when I put a custom audience of, let's say, boudoir Facebook 90 days, and then you can add as many as you want, because you want to target all the people who have been engaging with your, like, you know, your business. Boudoir website 30 days. Usually when you do these custom audiences, it wouldn't show you the range anymore because it's quite a specific people, and it would say audience definition isn't available. That's totally fine. And yeah, and then it would just make sure all those people are within this age range. They are only women, and they live in London plus 50-mile radius, because as my boudoir studio is in London, I don't want it showing people. Let's say if someone in America has been on my website, I don't want it showing this ad to someone in America, because I'm not trying to, like, you know, if they come down to London, fair enough. But if they're just there and somehow have stumbled on my website, you don't want to waste your ad spend money on people who are unlikely to book. So always try to make sure you narrow this location to where you want it to reach, and to the actual age range and the actual people you want it to reach. Now, because I'm a boudoir photographer, there's no point in me leaving it up to 18, because I don't want to work with 18-year-olds. I work with 21 and above. And from my experience, I know people who are likely to book with me, likely to be able to afford my prices, usually tend to be the 26 above. I have had clients who are like 22, 21 book me, and that's totally fine. But in my experience, they are not my ideal target audience. So I don't want to waste my ad spend sharing my ads to all these people who would most likely not book, or the one or two who books will not really book my ideal package. So yeah, just be conscious of what your goals are as, you know, as a business. And then advantage placement, you leave it there. We go to next, and then we just carry on like I showed you previously. Add your Instagram account, and then yeah, you add your images, you put your text, what you want people to see, you put the headline, you put your URL, you put the display link. And because depending on the goal, either maybe if you want people to like, let's see, if people are entering, like, let's say a competition you're running, you can click on apply now. Or if you want them to actually book an offer, like, okay, so we said mini sessions, you want them to book, you put book now. So this way it's a stronger call to action. You're not just creating awareness, you actually want people to take an action on your page. And so you want a stronger call to action. And once you've, you know, filled in all of these fields, you just click the publish, and yeah, there we go. Okay, I hope all of that was not too scary. So I know it can feel quite overwhelming, you know, looking at the back end of Facebook for the first time, but you sort of get the hang of it. It's not that difficult, to be honest, because it's just, you know, clicking buttons here and there. And once you have your pictures and you have like your copy, all of that, just putting it in is easy. What tends to be a bit difficult is being strategic about, you know, which type of ads you run for which type of offer, or which type of campaign you're running, which type of ads, and how you target the audience, how you segment your audience. That's where you need to be smart and you need to be strategic. And of course, you can't just wake up and know this is what to do. I mean, you do, there's some things you would know, which you'd have seen, like, you know, the top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, how to reach your cold leads, how to, you know, talk to your warm leads. All of that are things you know and like are important. But there are other parts where doing A to B testing is what will give you the data in order to make informed decision on how to refine your ads. And this will only come with time, and this would come with testing as well. So you will get the hang of it. You will start to understand it, but it may seem quite overwhelming right now. Anyway, I hope you really found this video useful, me showing you behind the curtains of what, setting up Facebook ads look like. And if you enjoyed this video, then I know you would definitely enjoy the video where I talk about the marketing strategies to implement in order to be fully booked throughout the year. This is it for now. See you next week. Bye.